A slight technical issue there. Good evening, everyone. I am flying solo just now, like always. I get the fear that I'm talking to myself, so please somebody pop into the chat and let me know that you can see me and hear me. I'm not just an absolute wanker talking away to themselves in their living room. There are so many of you on tonight. I'm so sorry. We are late. Oh, thank you, Dave. You're always the one that answers me quickly. Thank you so much. Hi, Mark. Awesome. So slight change tonight. Unfortunately, the Whisky Sisters can't join us tonight. Really disappointed. Massive fan of them. But just personal things in the way. Inca is moving house and she has a delivery arriving today. And she's got to travel quite a big distance between the two properties, so it's just not going to happen. It's such a shame, but we will definitely get them on in the new year because they're keen to join us, and I can't wait to get them on. I've been a big fan of the Whisky Sisters since they started, and I got to hang out with them in Glasgow for a bit, so we'll get them on in the new year. You can see Michael is not here again this week. He promises he's going to be here soon. I've told him not to leave me hanging because I'm going to run out of stuff to talk about. Very soon. Can you repeat that, Kat? Which bit? Like all of it? That the Whisky Sisters can't join us. We've got loads of you on the chat, so I'm going to go back up and see who all joined us. We've got Ian Abernethy, who can't stay for this one. Overseas. Hopefully it's something fun and not work. On the catch-up, you could definitely watch us in the catch-up, but I can't guarantee there's going to be much happening. If Mike doesn't join us, I'm just going to be waffling for about 10 minutes. You've got a question for us tonight, though. We'll come back to that one because it could give us something to talk about. Who else have we got? We've got Scott. We've got Dave. I saw you, Dave, first in queue for Mike's new shop, which was fantastic. It's looking amazing, and I'm sure he's going to want to talk to you guys about that when he turns up. We've got Mark Watt. Still can't believe I missed Kate a couple of weeks ago. So disappointed about that. You guys were over in Japan recently. It looks absolutely amazing. I'd love to go to Japan. For anyone who wants to see me on Japanese TV, there is a link on my socials. Check it out. We've got Tony. We've got Jeremy. Nice to see you, Jeremy. And we've got Rick. Nice to see you, Rick. It's been a while. It was so nice bumping into you guys at Glasgow. I was literally at Thompson Brothers stand, and I realised I was stood next to your fair lady wife, Catherine. So that was a nice little coincidence. Sugar Kitty, Tim. Oh, there's quite a few on tonight, and you're all chatting to each other, which is absolutely lovely. Bob, you've got a Glen Scotia live stream. I haven't seen that. Okay. You're getting undiluted cat. Yeah, I know. Jeez, like honestly, I'm going to go into panic mode, and it's just going to become verbal diarrhea because I've got nothing to talk about. I'm late back from work. I'm at the tail end of a 6-day stint at work. It's end of year self-assessment time, and I think I've literally gone slightly insane. So yeah, good luck everybody there. If we don't have something to talk about without Mike, we'll just have to talk about Mike. And we've got Neil, Evening Cat, and Blethers, and Hamish. Greetings from Inverness. How have I assessed myself? Fucking awesome. Winning at everything. It's so hard to talk about yourself, actually. I think it's a very British trait to be like, well, you know, I'm all right, but I wasn't that great. You know, I could have done better. When really, you should just be like owning our shit and be like, do you know what? I'm fucking awesome at my job. So what's in my glass tonight? So I've got 3 things. I'm like triple fisting. I've got a cup of orange blossom tea. I have also got some sherry because I'm going to tell you about my new sherry experience. So I'm just plugging something at my other job. And I've got a dram. So I fancied the Pete Hart from Anik. So if you've watched the Blether before, you'll know that I'm a massive Knockdo fan. And it's absolutely miserable outside. It's dark and it's wet and it's rainy. So I thought I want to go for something like dark and naughty and peaty. So that's what I went for. But I'm going to start with the sherry. Let's see what else you guys were. Is anybody drinking tonight? I don't know if I saw any actually drams on there. Is anybody having a dram tonight? I don't know. Oh, so we've got... no, that's just people chatting to each other. I don't think I've seen any drams on here tonight at all. If anybody's having a dram with me, let me know so I don't feel like an absolute soak by myself. I grabbed a Anik 18 a minute ago. Nice. And Dave, you're not drinking again. Are you on, what do you call it? Night shift or standby? Jeremy's got an 8-year-old Balvenie from the 70s. Jeez, oh, Jeremy, like bringing out the big guns. Running into, yes, it was nice. Mark's off. It's because I'm just waffling, isn't it? Dave's on the Captain Morgan's. Do you know what? Like, just own your shit. It's fine. If that's what you're on, that's what you're on. So I'm going to have, yeah, of course, yeah, it's 11:45 with you, Rick. So Starbucks seems quite reasonable at that time of day. I'm going to pour myself a sherry because I'm going to tell you why I'm on the sherry tonight. Not just because I love a nice sherry. Well, okay, you guys know that I'm not a big fan of a sherry maturation. However, I've been learning more about actual sherry because I feel like I need to explore sherry a bit more. I know why I don't like sherry maturations, but I really like how sherry's made and I like different sherry. So I thought I just need to look into this a bit further. So I have created a brand new experience at Glengarry. Have a dram if you're playing that game. It's just launching next week. So if you are looking for something to do over the Christmas break, Mike's going to have to step in at some point because I'm just going to promote my work. But I am launching a sherry maturation sort of appreciation tasting. So we're doing a journey through how sherry is created, the maturation process, the story of sherry, with 3 big sherry bombs, so 3 big Glengarry sherry bombs. We've got a 21-year-old first fill, a 2009 refill, and a 1979 first fill. And I've paired it with a little charcuterie board. So we've got lots of fun little tasty bits to go alongside each one of the expressions. We're also going to have a deep dive into the new make and pair that with some tasty little bits. And obviously we'll have a sherry alongside that as well. So you can have your sherry, have your new make, and then see what happens when the two come together. So it's all going to happen at up in the Bothy, so it's the old taxman's office. So it's got a little fireplace. So yeah, that's what I'm launching this week. There'll be some pictures and things appearing up on my socials soon. And then it'll be available to book for 3 dates in December, because currently it's just me hosting it until I get the rest of the team trained up, and then we'll start rolling it out for the rest of the year. When and how much are the tickets? So it's £65. It's for an hour, and that's 4 drams and quite a selection of cheeses and cold meats and dried fruits and nuts and things that you can sit and enjoy. Currently, I've got 3 dates in December, so 19th, 21st, and another one. But you can find out if you go onto our website. So if you're in Aberdeenshire in December, or the second part of December, book on and come and see me, and we can have some sherry exploration. Just at Glengarry, Rick, not over at Ardmore, just a little wintertime experience over at Glengarry, something a little bit different, because it gets really cold during the shutdown at the distillery. So you'll probably all be aware that all the distilleries will have a couple of weeks of a silent season in December. So none of the machines are running, the kind of factory shuts down. So it gets really chilly. So the normal tours are still running, but we've decided to try and just do something a bit cozy. So Coody Doon up in the Bothy with some just yummy treats and some really nice whiskey. So yeah, that is pretty much the only thing I've prepared to talk about, because Mike said he wasn't going to leave me for too long, but he quite clearly has. So if he doesn't appear in the next 10 minutes, unless you guys have got something else to talk about, we'll probably have to call it quits. I think Ian asked a question at the top. So we'll see if you guys have got any. Here's Mike. I don't know if he can come in by himself or whether I've got to let him in. Here he is. Oh, no, I'm adding him as he's adding himself. You do it, Mike. You press the button. There he is. Oh wait, you've got no volume. You've got no volume. We can see you and not hear you. Yeah, we still can't hear you. Okay, so if anybody knows sign language, or we could do like what's the Christmas film where the guy holds up all the bits of paper for Keira Knightley? Love Actually. You can just write out like little cue cards. Although it's so creepy, that film, when you actually deep dive into it. Like he just fancies his best friend's girlfriend, kind of stalks her, takes her picture inappropriately, and then turns up on her doorstep with like loads of bits of paper and says, "Don't tell a mate." Like, when you actually look into that, it's a little bit creepy. And Mike's trying to figure out why he's got no sound. And has just disappeared. We'll go back to Ian's question. One topic I'm interested in is how to build, manage, and consume a drinking connection. How do you choose what to buy to get a good spread of what whiskey has to offer? How to store, how to drink? That's quite a big question. So how do you choose what to buy to get a good spread of what whiskey has to offer? How to store, how to drink? I don't know if there is a sort of set rule about what you have to buy, to be honest. I think, especially this year, I think we're all kind of feeling the pinch of, this year and sort of turbulence of the whiskey industry as well. So I think, try and have a broad spectrum, like maybe base it on maturations, right, rather than like collectability or new releases. Maybe have like one of each you can go to, sort of a good bourbon, a good sherry, all decent prices, and then base it off of that. But I always think it'd be lovely to at least have one from every distillery, but like A, I don't have the money for that, and B, I definitely don't have the shelf space for that. Anybody else got any thoughts on Ian's question? Or whether they've got a system they work by? Jeremy, right. Favorite Christmas movie, 100%. Let's get into that one, because I totally have my, I'm not even ashamed to say this, and I say this every single year. The best Christmas movie ever is The Muppets Christmas Carol. And if you don't agree with that, then you've got no soul. You're broken. It's just it. It's Muppets Christmas Carol. I've looked at the DVD just now. I'm taking it down to Glasgow at the weekend to make my boyfriend watch it. It has to be Muppets Christmas Carol. So I want everybody else's suggestions. Yeah, Dave, that's quite a good shout, actually. Go to tasting events and go with your gut. I know you go to quite a few tasting events. And I do think that's a great way, actually, of introducing yourself to different whiskies. Because, you can try them without having to buy a bottle, and you can figure out if you like them or not. Let's see if Mike's got sound or not. He's there.
Hello?
Sound! Hello!
Hey. Woo-hoo. Hi.
Hello.
It's not Christmas Carol, by the way. It is 100% a movie called Klaus.
Is that the one that was on Netflix?
Yes, it's animated movie about the origins of Santa Claus in a weird and quirky way. Just thought I'd jump in there as my introduction to that.
If it's Christmas Carol's awesome, though. It's got Miss Piggy in it.
Don't get me wrong, it's good, but is it? I'm really weird because I've gone to an external camera, which is just at the side. So when I'm looking at the screen, it looks like I'm not looking at it. So I'm going to try and set it so it looks like I'm looking at you guys as well. There we go.
And we get a sneak peek of the new shop as well.
Yeah, I thought I would jump down here. We can do that because I've got this camera. We can do
Ooh.
That's the front window. So everyone walking past the street can see me just sitting talking to a computer. And then we've got our wine wall at the back, some beers in there, and then some other spirits. And so yeah, we're at the new Inverurie Whisky Shop tonight. So,
Nice.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know why I said good morning. I think I'm blaming Rick because I was just looking through the chat and I see the morning. Good morning. So Rick, that's and who have we got on?
Loads of people. There's loads and loads of people on. Quite the Bletherin tonight. I've already explained that unfortunately the Whisky Sisters can't make it, but we will get them back on in the new year.
Do we want them back on if they're going to pull out like that?
So Inca did give us plenty of warning that there's a chance that this delivery was going to happen on. So it was like one of those open-ended, like your whatever may be delivered between this date and this date, and then sure enough, sod's law, it happens on. You know what like it is? Like you're like, oh, okay, I could probably manage that as long as it doesn't arrive on this day, and then that's always the day that it decides to turn up on. So it's one of those things, but we'll get them on.
We will. I have noticed that you've got your whiskey shelves back.
Oh, so the shelves were always there. It's just I didn't have a table. So I now have a table.
Priorities, whiskey shelves or a table. Come second to that.
I know. So, yes. So I've now got a table. So I've managed to sit in front of my whiskey shelves instead of just my living room wall. It's everything there. I actually got a new bottle of whiskey today, but it's not for opening, and it's so heavy that I just can't get it out the box.
What have you got?
I'll show you. Oh, Jesus, fall off my seat. So apparently this is like 7 kilos. It's like a toddler. Mike's gone. I've got this. So yeah, it's in a box within a box within a box. So it's like so heavily packaged that it's not coming out the box tonight. I just don't have the time or energy. And I'm not really into the whole unboxing videos, especially like when people just get sent free stuff and they're like, ooh, unbox it with me. I'm like, no, you've just got free stuff. I don't want to see your free stuff. Oh, he's back.
Hello.
Yes.
No idea what happened. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll move that camera out of the way. So that camera's not working anymore.
Do you know what? Like, you would not be money's worth with fans only, because you would just keep disappearing every 5 minutes and people would be like, da da da, oh, he's going again. Like, it'd be too much of a tease. Yeah, you're going to need to invest in better tech if you decide to go into fans only. I don't know which way around it is. Did you see my big reveal of my whiskey? Oh, he's disappeared again. This is not going well. Oh, there he is. He's changed angle. This is like the Matrix, Mike. Like, you just keep disappearing and coming back at different angles. It's so weird. It's actually making me quite nauseous. And now you've got no volume. You've gone again. You've got no volume. Thank goodness we don't have a guest, to be honest. Rick, tell us more about the whiskey. So it is the... Are you back?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you are. There you are.
Yay.
Yeah, Rick was asking about my whiskey. So it is their annual release, and it's a 30-year-old bourbon sherry marriage, and it's in this beautiful kind of wooden decanter, wooden box. It's really, really impressive, really pretty. But yeah, it arrived today from Isla. So I don't collect whiskey or sell it or anything, but I also got child maintenance for the first time in 3 years. So guess what my ex-husband's just paid for?
It's for the kids, honestly.
Yeah, well, I thought like that'd be quite a nice one for them to put away and sell in future. I mean, I'm not really big on that. Like most of my bottles, I will just open eventually. But I thought, well, do you know what? Let's just do this one and pop it away because I love more so much.
Well, let's hope you don't have to move house again anytime soon, because that's going to be a bitch to come around.
Yes, definitely.
I noticed Dave Muir was watching. He says he makes me sick too. Thanks, Dave. Very, very nice of you to say so. I hope you're impressed with the paintwork that we have up here. So Dave obviously came up and painted our bar, which is next door. So we're actually next door to the Foghouse now. So we've got right through this wall is our wine and whiskey bar, and then we have this. So we kept the same color scheme, and here. And Dave, you'll have to come down and touch up all the bits I've missed and cut corners on and everything. It was a bit of a shove in to get everything going for this weekend, because our local light switch on was on this weekend in Inverurie, and they reckon up to about 10,000 people. Between 8 and 10,000 people come down to the square to watch it. So it was like, yeah, we have to be open for that. We need to get in and get going. So we did. If you seen a photo of this, when was it you and Paul were in? Was it the weekend before? No, it was Friday night before, wasn't it?
Yeah, Friday before. So you were still like you were clarted in paint and dust. We left you about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I was here till about 12 painting that night, and then 11:45 I got home the Saturday night, and then back down here 6 o'clock on the Sunday morning to start the stock. Great fun. Don't open a shop. Certainly don't move shop in the first weekend of December. Certainly not. Yeah.
But I was saying to Dave on the chat, I saw him in your little reel. He was the first one smiling at the door, waiting to be let in when the shop opened.
He was. He didn't get the memo that because we had to open an hour late. We were going to open for 12, but we had to push it back to 1 just to make sure we were a little bit more ready. And poor Dave. I mean, he went next door to the bar, and I think he had a dram or a coffee or something there. Yeah, he was still the first customer.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure what he bought. I thought it was a little brown dog because we had Andrew in doing a wee barrel top, and we had Anne in from Gordon MacPhail doing a barrel top as well. But I didn't catch what Dave's purchase was. So Dave, you'll have to let me know what it was you picked up if you're in tonight. Reb, we've moved venue, so we have moved from the site that we were in when you came up to see us, just into the square in Inverurie. So we're still in Inverurie, still just a one single outlet. It's not a
franchise.
A franchise as such, no. God, no. No, one's enough. It's like children, one's enough. And 2 is way more than twice the work.
Yeah, and then by the 3rd one, you're just like, whatever. They'll sort themselves out.
Reb, it's not. It's a different line, a different set. It's probably about the same square meterage of shelving, but it's longer and it's narrower. It's taller as well. We can get more height. And I noticed Rick asked the question, "What's going on at the back?" So you'll see these shelves here. That's our wine wall, and then in behind that is a tasting room. Once my batteries charge up enough, I'll disconnect from the charger. We'll go up and have a wee gander. Of what will be, it's a packing area at the moment, or an unpacking area, but it will be a tasting room. So a wee intimate room for up to kind of 8 to 10 people, to kind of work alongside our main tasting room, which can hold up to 40. So just for private groups and things. Cat could do a Glengarry franchise branch. I think we sell enough Glengarry here that we don't need a Glengarry dedicated branch, do we?
Well, do you know, there's never enough Glengarry in the world, to be honest. Like, you got to spread that love, spread that joy.
I'm going to say something about a Glengarry that I've never said before. I don't think And this is something that we all do, and you're a liar if you say you don't. But we always tell each other not to do it. But look at the colour of that.
That's not a Glengarry.
That is a 10-year-old Glengarry from the Red Cask Company.
Holy Moses. That is sinfully filthy. That is ridiculous.
This is the darkest, deepest corner of any sex dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, that's a serious amount of kink there. That's insane. Have you tried it?
I'm going to do an uncorking. I thought I had time because I thought you were going to undo your bottle, so I thought I had like an hour to get into this. But
this is why I'm not opening this box at all. It's going to take me a day. So see, that ties in nicely because I was telling everybody at the start, because I started with a sherry because I just launched a new. So at Glengarry we do the rare pair, which is whiskey and cheese pairing.
Yes.
I've created and launched the sherry rare pair.
It's got, because we were talking about it recently. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but we were talking about it recently.
We were talking about it off air recently, but it's official now. I've created it. I was putting together some pictures for it today, and there's dates open for it next week onwards. We've got 3 or 4 dates in December because I'm going to be hosting them until I get the team trained up, and then it's going to be available to book throughout the year.
Excellent.
So yeah.
So that's looking at the sherry influence on the cask and the whiskey.
Exactly. So it's just kind of exploring the flavors of sherry, where it comes from, the story behind sherry production, and pairing it with a sort of charcuterie board. So new make, Oloroso, and then 3 big sherry maturations. So 2 first fills and 1 refill, and one kind of sort of vintage. One that was quite a vintage Glengarry. So yeah, it's good fun. Oh, it didn't pop.
It was more like a slurp than a pop.
Yeah.
That was a better one. Yeah. I'll have to dry off the cork before I do that again. But yeah, so this is 10-year-old cask strength, 52.3%, one of 210 bottles, Oloroso Hoggy finish from the Glengarry distillery. All natural colour, non-chill filtered. Natural colour. That is an active as hell cask.
So it's not a full maturation. It's just a finish. Bloody hell.
Yeah. But sometimes you get that from, because I know some distilleries will use the cask the first time for a finish because that's when it's most active. So it might overpower the whiskey. So that's probably, you look how active that is no way going to make a good full maturation whiskey. It's just going to be so sherry, would be like raisins in wood.
That is the thing about Glengarry, which we explore in the new sherry rare pair, is the fact that we make such like a big, heavy hitting whiskey that you can always pick it out, or generally pick it out, even if it's in a big old stonking like finish, or like a big sherry bottom. You can always kind of pick out a bit of Glengarry in there. So I've primed you now, because now that you try that, you're gonna have to pick out the Glengarry and what's in there, and not just sherry.
That's to pick out heather honey and poached pears and all that.
Not so much the pears, but like honey and fruit, definitely. Paul always says tin peaches. So pears in one of the tasting notes, but like it's definitely fruits. Yeah, like I don't mean they all taste like pear, but peaches, pears, apples, whatever. Lots of fruit, lots of honey. So yeah, interesting one. Dave wants one.
Whiskey Dave says, "Did you get that from the upside down world?" That's the second comment you made about me being upside down, Dave. Am I coming across? Am I the right way up for everyone else? You're the right way up for me, unless he's really into like Stranger Things, and it's just like lots of Stranger Things references. I started watching that for the first time because everyone keeps telling me I should watch it. I point blank refused to watch it because I thought it was about aliens, and then Paul said no, it's not about aliens. Realistic than that.
Yeah, it's really realistic. 'Cause so I started watching it, and the monsters do look like aliens, so they are pissing me off a little bit. But yeah, I'll see it through to the end. Not super excited about it. I like the 80s vibes. There's a bit of Bon Jovi, a bit of Metallica, so I'm here for that. I like the 80s clothes and the makeup. So I might just watch it for that, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia, a lot of retro going on.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on season 2 and getting a bit bored of it now, but I'll try and make it through to the end.
It's good. It's big. I'm going to let it breathe a little bit. I'm not sure on that neck. I don't know, guys at home, if you have a thing about neck pour, whether it has an impact. The ball didn't even reach the neck, but I guess the neck pour is just a general term for the first pour. I think it needs a little bit of time just in the glass. I'm going to open it up a wee bit because it feels one big flavor. There's nothing kind of developing in it, and that big flavor is sherried wood.
I was just giggling at Jeremy's comment of Spotify told him that his listening age was 71.
I was 34. I was 34. I lost 8 years. Yeah.
I saw everyone posting this today on their stories, and I've been on Spotify a couple of times today, and I haven't had that come up.
You need to go onto is it skins or sleeves section or something? I can send you a link for it.
Because I remember it came up last year, like, you know, most listened to, hours listened to stuff, but yeah. Because I got inspired to start listening to like 80s music on the way home today after Stranger Things, so I was like rocking out to Bon Jovi all the way home. Such a vibe, honestly. But yeah, you know. Oh, well, maybe that's it on the homepage. I'll have a look later and see what I'm most listened to this year.
There you go.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, but you'll get our friend Claire will come up first, and she'll show you. Then you just scroll down.
Okay. I will check it out because I saw Tony done her one. It was all like country and western music. But I don't know what mine was.
All she listens to is country and western, and her age was 28. But a lot of like country rock is new. Your Luke Combs and these kind of guys, Jackson Dean and all this. It's really hitting a young market. Taylor Swift is classed as country now. What the hell is all that about?
Yeah, I know. And then Beyonce did her country and western album, which just drives me insane. Texas Hold'em gives me actual rage.
He needs country more than country needs her. Is all I'm going to say about that.
I like the idea about. I like what she did of, like, you know, why there are no well-known Black country singers. You know, I could do the genre of music. I can't think of any. I don't like country and western music, so like I don't know any country singers.
I said loads really quickly there, and I could think of 2.
It's not really loads, is it? Other than Dolly Parton. Other than Dolly Parton from 1995. No, but that's the only country and western singer I know. Yeah. Okay. Amazing breasts. But yeah, like, not my vibe.
Okay. We'll talk about whiskey for a little.
Everyone's given us their Spotify ages, not actually their most played. Actually, that's funny. I'm going to go and turn my heating off because I'm next to the heater and I'm roasting and I'm grippy. So it's an hour and then it's off. You can entertain the troops.
I will do. I know it's Andrew Cullen, former Glengarry tour guide. Hi, Andrew. How are you? Ended up with 67. So technically, you're in with the kids now with that 6 and 7. I still don't know what all that's about. I just see it popping up every now and then. Rick Johnson, Charlie Pride, one of my dad's favourite country artists, was another Black country singer. Probably or possibly the first mainstream Black country singer, I think. Reb says, you won't believe me, but I used to work in a specialist hi-fi shop in the early 1980s. Wow. So that's bringing the music and the Stranger Things retro 80s theme full circle there. Brilliant. Dave Ferguson's lung age after a medical is 42. You got young lungs. You got your lungs my age.
Nice. Well done you with your healthy lungs, Dave. I love that. Them just flapping around in there, all healthy and glowing. Nice. Good job. We should get a certificate for you. I like it. Did they age all your other bits too, or just your lungs? Like it's like your internal organs. That's what I meant. I didn't think the whole sentence. Yeah, feel free not to answer that question. I just wonder how they go about that process. Which other bits they can age. It's like carbon dating with trees. Like, I did warn everyone that it's been a long week and that you definitely had to join the Blether soon because I've been doing self-assessments all week, end of year stuff, so I've literally gone a bit insane. So I've just, who knows what might come out of my mouth.
Well, Dave's not answering. He says he's not saying. Good. Well done, Dave. I appreciate that. So we when I pitched the Blether out, we said we were going to do, because our guest pulled out, let's talk whiskey stories. And I wanted to, because we've got a good following now, and what I wanted to see was if anyone had fun stories that they can tell us about. How they got into whiskey, how they see whiskey, if you met any of the superstars of whiskey. So let us know what your favorite story is in whiskey, and we'll try and bring it to the screen. And Kat, how did you get into whiskey? I don't think this is a story we've ever told.
So it's a weird one, right? Well, no, it's not weird. It's one of those things of if you'd actually had the confidence to follow what you liked from a young age, then potentially you would have got there sooner. But I always loved whiskey. Like, I loved the smell of it. I loved like the marketing and the branding of it. Because my grandpa always used to have a bottle of Glenmorangie. And I know a lot of people have that sensory story of like, my grandpa had the dram. So I always do remember getting like a dippy finger of his whiskey and enjoying the taste of it. And then there's this advertising campaign by Glenmorangie, and it's the Glen of Tranquility. And you probably remember it. A guy has a dram, sits down in an armchair, and he's transported to this beautiful kind of Monarch Glen type Glen. I just always remember loving that advert. And my mum took me up to Glenmorangie Distillery, and she took me to a couple others because I wanted to go and see them. So yeah, I always loved whiskey, and then didn't do anything about it because when I was like a teenager, a young adult, I didn't really know it was a career option. Like, other than the guys who went to make whiskey or the Coopers that I knew about, I didn't know, and maybe there wasn't so much a career option 30 years ago, I'm not too sure. So went off, did other things, travelled Scotland, working in farms and shooting estates. And again, whiskey was always a really pervasive part of that. Like, you getting spotted at the windows.
Yeah. People out for their walk. It is lashing. Who's going to walk out in this? It's absolutely lashing down.
It's minging tonight. Like, that is whole water out there. Absolutely minging. Yeah, so whiskey was always part of farming, agriculture. Big gathering days when you're taking the sheep down off the hills. There's always been a dram involved, or a hip flask, sort of at the end of clipping season, end of speening, like the sort of really big days, there'd always be whiskey involved. And everywhere I lived was kind of close to various different distilleries. So it was always on the periphery, like part of my life, and then moved to Aberdeenshire. And job came up at Glengarry, and I was like, wow. And the kids were old enough now that I could just do a job that I wanted to, as opposed to jobs that were convenient for school runs and whatnot. So applied for it, and I got it. And it was because, telling that story in the interview, it just, the fact that we were from the West Coast and had so many amazing core memories of linking whiskey to sense of place, which I talk about quite a lot. And yeah, have a look back, been in the industry for It'll be 8 years in March. So yeah, a roundabout way. It was always kind of working my way into it, but it took me a while to get there. But I think I was always meant to go that way. It just took a few longer paths.
Always find you, won't it? What is it? What's for you? I'll not go by you.
Yes, my nana always used to say that. I think, do you know, and it was probably beneficial that I went off and did other things, because then I think I'm probably more confident, I've got more life experience. I can bring that into the role that I do. Because a lot of the stuff I do is writing and story development and script creation and working on the brand. So to have that kind of bigger life experience comes in helpful, I think.
And it's not coming from a college course or a degree or something. It's coming from life, learned skills.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a degree, but I've never used it. I studied. Yeah, I've got a degree in politics and international relations. But
wow, no. We don't talk about that much. I think, well, one of the early days of the Blether, we set out rules that we don't talk politics. So, it's never come up for you to flash that in our face. Say, oh, look at my degree.
I know, well, it sounds quite pretentious. So I enjoyed it. I've always had an interest in politics and world affairs, but never really used it, my degree.
But you don't talk politics much.
It's there.
Yeah.
No, just because it's so divisive. And yeah, I think especially after the independent referendum stuff, politics became so divisive that I just don't really voice an opinion. Like, if people say to me, I don't vote, what's the point? Then I get pissed off. But again, like, politics is so personal to people. So, I don't mind talking about world politics with people. But at the same time, it's a difficult conversation to navigate.
Tony, so my wife Tony is, she never votes. And her nan used to get really irate about it. It was like, women died to give you the vote in this. And Tony's reply was always the same. It's like, no, they died to give me the right to vote. So,
that's fair.
Yeah. And to be honest, they're all corrupt bastards anyway, so you don't know which one to vote for. This is why we don't do politics, because it becomes sweary and aggressive, and we move on.
I know.
Hello, Bowman, 1999. Rob, good evening, Rob. He's saying hello, Bletherin. And Sandro is saying Cat is lovely and a uni grad. Brava.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Sam.
Whisky Dave, gave Jamie from Outlander, aka Sam Hewen, a dram for breakfast while working in a hotel.
Wow.
And that sounds pretty cool. It's one of the, although he's not, is he a whiskey star? I know he's a Scottish star, but he did do his own whiskey, didn't he? He had the Sassenach blended.
He's got Galloway Distillery now, so he's producing his own spirit. He bought.
I was going to say, is that doing whiskey now, Galloway? Because that's the Hills and Harbour guys, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it was in the press a couple of weeks ago, so I think it's quite a recent thing. Yeah. So I think it's maybe a genuine interest of his, because he always seems to talk quite well about it when I've ever seen an interview. Rosalind Erskine, who had on before, she's interviewed him a couple of times. He does talk like he's got a genuine interest, like he's not just endorsing something by putting his face to it and giving it a sort of appealing name that the foreign market would like, kind of linking it into Outlander. So, I mean, and I suppose, he's not going to remain fit forever, like, so he's going to have to branch out into.
Sean Connery, he stayed fit a long time, didn't he?
That's true. That is true. So Jeremy, next Blether guest, I actually pinged him a DM at the start of the year and didn't get back to me. So do you know what, Sam? Jog on. No, not really. If you want to come on, please do.
I was trying to get Kiefer Sutherland on because he's got a whiskey in America that Paul McLaughlin worked on, and Paul, our dentist friend from Canada who does whiskey blending for Glenbretton, comes out to the Whisky Academy, which we are working on getting back again, by the way, for those interested. Watch this space. I've had a lot going on, but we are looking at the Whisky Academy coming back. But yeah, we spoke to their media team, marketing team. I think they kind of watched a couple of episodes and were like, yeah, maybe not quite there yet. They didn't think they were up to our prestige quite yet. So they're going to try dipping their toe into some smaller markets before joining us on the Blether, I think is what they were saying.
Okay. Fair.
Which I understand. Fair. It's quite overwhelming for people to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like his career would just take off after appearing on the Blether, and that's a lot for one man.
We could be the start of Keith Sutherland.
Definitely good. Never mind blooming Sam Hewen and Kiefer Sutherland. Get Paul on. He's been working out. It's a bit of a Silver Fox vibe going on with him. Let's get him back on the Blether.
I know. He's an excuse to bring out the guns on his old Instagram, isn't it?
I know. Like total thirst traps on his grams. I'm like, hello, and there's your wife. No, he is lovely though. We should get him back on. Very knowledgeable about noses.
Yeah.
Mouths.
Very knowledgeable about what?
Noses and mouths.
I wonder if they aged his nose, what age he would pick.
Oh my gosh. Yes. What age would his nose be? It's probably quite well used. So like maybe a bit older than him because he's kind of working out quite a bit. So maybe like his nose is going to be older than his other parts. I don't know. It's taking a turn.
Rick Johnson has said his introduction was kind of epic. Back in the early 90s, Pip Hills visited San Francisco to promote SMWS. He was new to whiskey. His friend and I were there, the only two who showed up. No way. God, can you imagine Pip doing a tasting now when only two people turning up? Just
unheard of.
So it was Pip who introduced him to a good whiskey, independent whiskey, and taught me the proper way to drink whiskey, not the proper way to spell whiskey. I see a little E slipping in there. But yeah, so Rick, let's go into this a little bit. Oh, he has corrected himself, just a few comments back. So what was the good whiskey that he introduced you to, if you remember what drams you had that night, Rick? And what did he say the proper way to drink whiskey was? I'd be really intrigued because that's back in the early 90s. We're now mid-2020s, so almost 30 years have passed. It'd be interesting to see what Pip's idea of drinking whiskey was back then compared to now, where we are. Are we drinking whiskey differently now, or what? We should get Rick on. Rick, jump on. We'll send you a link. You can come on.
We should actually, because you can. You've got your own little YouTube show as well. Like we could promote your whiskey zone as well. Come on and tell us all about your alter ego, because you've been getting about this year as well. You've been touring quite a bit with your whiskey travels. It's been awesome seeing you getting. Yeah, he's been everywhere. And you were on with Leanne as well, on her whiskey show, Scotch in the Bayou. Quite a year.
Jeremy's asking if we got Beyonce.
I'm trying to remember what you drank 30 years ago. Karen, there's a delay.
I'm just going to say Jeremy has asked if Beyonce has got in touch with her whiskey yet.
So my people haven't been in touch with her people yet, as in I've got no way of contacting her. I could try and drop into her DMs, but I don't think that Beyonce deals with her own social media. No. I did try her whiskey. I bumped into Louise and Ewan in the grill bar in Aberdeen one night, and we tried Rod Stewart's whiskey and Beyonce's whiskey. It was quite the flight. But I like Beyonce's one. It was good. Jury's out on Rod Stewart's one.
Sir Davis, it's called.
Yeah, named after her grandpa, who was like a bootlegger, I think.
Yes.
Was a story. It would be awesome to have her on, imagine. But she'd send through a rider and would have to get. I mean, I can't even sort my own lighting out, let alone lighting for Beyonce. Like, I don't know if we can extend to that.
I've just ended up arguing with her about country music. I think there wouldn't be much whiskey chat. We could maybe get Bill on, Dr. Bill, because he worked with her on the project, didn't he?
I would love to get him on as well. And I'm pretty sure I did DM him a good while ago, and he didn't get back to me, which is fine. So yeah, we'll have to wait until our paths cross. I'd literally just go around with like little business cards, like apprehending people at whiskey shows or distilleries. So I'll just have to wait until I cross paths with them, and I'll try and force them to go on the Blether.
That's fair. Sugar Kitty says about 30 years, you can't say 30 years ago, but know for certain exactly what he was drinking 50 years ago. Jim Beam and gas station lemonade.
Love it.
Can't beat it. It sounds like it's probably pissing with rain and you were in a park somewhere. It was pre-mixed, scooping it out of a plastic bottle with some mates and waking up with instant regret. This is
exactly.
growing on me. It has opened up. I'm getting. I probably wouldn't be able to pick out a Glengarry note, but there is certainly kind of more complexity coming. Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is a very big compliment for it. When Billy Walker started taking out Glenallachie single casks, near his early days when he just started re-racking and he was taking out stuff that had that kind of first fill finish, big punching, sherry punching kind of finishes. It's got that about it, which is, it's a really well finished whiskey. In that there is kind of notes coming through now, that caramels and vanilla notes, a little bit of soft oak. It's not as big and punchy as before. A little bit of time in the glasses really opened up. It's not whiskey flavored E150, as Reb kind of alluded to earlier. It's a sherry cask finished whiskey. I quite enjoy it. It's big raisins, big treacle. Are the two kind of sherry notes coming through, but lots of more delicate kind of aromas and flavors going through. So yeah, very enjoyable. And I will have to remember Janice that I've opened as well. Are you still there?
Have you? Yep. Just you kind of became a robot for a second and then cut out, but you're still there. You're back. Techie issues in the new shop.
I know. We've got internet, all singing, all dancing. We have David is asking, is it in the shop for sale? Yes, it is. It might not be online yet, but it's certainly in the shop.
Awesome.
And the Dutch Jura is talking Black Friday sales. Remind me to come back to you're talking about you're in a bar drinking. That's a topic I want to go back to. But Dutch Jura, Black Friday deals. He picked up Claxon's Armor 12-year-old direct from their site, influenced by the Blether. Happy to help.
Ooh.
Love Claxon's Ardmore. What was it? The cognac finish that you had? I remember we got a Dave Stark Claxon's bottle.
I can't scroll up to see a moment. Oh, right, you're back. Internet problems. Right. Who can you hear and see me, Mike, or are you?
I can.
No, I don't know if you can hear or see. Okay, there we go. Everything froze for a second. I was like, which one of us is frozen? The Claxon Ardmore sounds amazing. If that's still on special offer, I'm going to have a look at that. I don't own any Claxon stuff because the bottle annoys me a little bit. However, like the liquid sounds absolutely amazing. So I do need to look into it and get one. And I missed the chat with Adrian, and I watched it back, and it was such an awesome chat. And obviously, David Stirk is a whiskey royalty. So yeah, I need to look into Claxton's, especially if it's Ardmore. I'll get some of that for the shelf.
Rick remembers the 50-year-old Claxton's being poured at the Spirits Festival back in March.
Yeah.
So good.
I know, because we couldn't get near his stand for the whole of the day. Like, we had like a little list of people who wanted to go and speak to, and he was just mobbed the whole of the day.
Whole time. We couldn't get near it.
Amazing. So yeah,
everyone who we spoke to was like, "Have you been to the Claxton stand yet? Have you been?" Like, no.
I know, yeah. I mean, that's such a good sign as well, because it wasn't just because he had like under the table, like, you know, Gordon MacPhail 136-year-old bottle. It was just because people were like, yeah, it's just bloody good juice. Like, let's get over it. So, yeah, I'll need to look at their sale.
Gordon MacPhail gimmick, hey, you know.
Well, now I was out at Gordon MacPhail last week because I did the Blether. Yeah, I did the Blether live from Elgin because I was at a Lady of the Glen tasting, and Russell was there, ex-Blether host, and it was so lovely to see him. So he's with all his colleagues at the tasting, and then he invited us over to the Gordon MacPhail shop at Johnston's of Elgin, which was very cool because they had their big wool and cashmere sale on at Johnston's of Elgin. They put up the big marquee in the car park, and we're selling like their £1 million scarves for £180 instead of £1 million. But Russell put together such an awesome lineup for us. So yeah, really beautiful shop. Yeah, just like the liquor they have is insane. Like you walk in and like, you know, just the ages it starts at, you're just like, that's mad. Absolutely mad. But the whole shop is really approachable. So you don't walk in and think, oh, I haven't got enough money. Nobody's going to talk to me. Like everyone's just like dead nice and just all enjoying their jobs and keen to talk about whiskey. So you don't feel out of place walking in there, and it's not elitist. I really enjoyed it, actually. Really nice. It was nice to see Russell. He looked after us very well. Yeah, good fun. Really, really good fun.
I was out on tour about 2 weeks ago with a group from Sweden, and we went Ballindalach, we went to Glenlivet, we were at, where else did we go? Where did we start? Oh, the Cooperage. Went to Cooperage, Glenlivet, Ballindalach, and then dropped them off at Glenallachie. And they were telling me that they had a tasting the next day with Gordon MacPhail, and I said, well, if you get Russell or Karen, make sure you say hello. But I don't know who. I don't think they did. I think it was Ross, I think, who organised it. So I don't know who it was. They never let me know. But yeah, if you're in Elgin, I haven't been to the new shop yet. I was at the one at the St Giles Centre, and obviously the one on Crown Street we've been to many times. But I love how the first thing that you said was the shop was great because it had wool for sale, and you're like,
on the whiskey.
Forget the 1982 whiskey. You know, they've got wool for sale. It's not just wool; it's cashmere.
I mean, look, you know, I love a knitted jumper. Like my wardrobe is. I collect hideous cardigans. It's literally become my theme. But we walked into the wrong part to start with because I thought it was a straight through. I thought if you went to the shop, you'd go straight down through to wherever Russell was. And the lady came up to us because I was just touching everything. I was just kind of like stroking stuff. I was like, Paul, touch this, touch it. He's like, no, you're all right. So then a lady came over and she's like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm just here to see my pal Russell at Gordon MacPhail. And she's like, they are nothing to do with us. I'm like, okay, I'll go then. So yeah, but I think it was mainly because I was in stroking stuff that she was just like, could you get out now, please? And you obviously can't afford anything.
Get away from this whiskey fiend.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely worth a visit if you are up in Elgin. And Johnston's of Elgin's got really cool heritage and story as well. They've been on the go for about
They're,
230 years.
they're tightly linked to the Urquharts, aren't they? Oh God,
They are. Yeah. And I met Stephen Rankin for the first time, so I was a little bit starstruck. I was like, oh, I know who that is.
Have you ever been like, and I don't mean fangirl starstruck, have you ever been like, I don't know what to say to you because you're that big in any, let's not just say whiskey, but in any scenario?
That's a really good question. And it was something I was chatting to Jeremy about recently, actually, because he did ask who I'd like not met yet in the whiskey world that I'd love to. And it must have been based off of somebody that I'd recently met that I'd maybe put on my socials. I can't remember, Jeremy, remind me why we were speaking about that. I got in a complete tongue twist, like with meeting Dave Broom. I was so excited about meeting him. And he just totally lives up to like expectations. Like he's just so lovely. Has just the most beautiful, deep, Sephoриc Glasgow drawl that I just, like it does things. So yeah, I was like, I fangirled all over him. I literally took my book up and asked him to sign it. And my whole book was filled with like little wee, because I love the written word, and quite often if somebody says something on the Blether, or if I see something that they've been quoted to saying, I'll write it down. I don't know, I just love it. I kind of collect words. So his whole book, I had these little wee stickers on like pages of just nice quotes that I can just flick back to. I do with all books. I've got like loads of poetry books and stuff that I just have little stickers on of like just favourite sentences, whatever. So I was really embarrassed that this book had all these like stickers on it, but he loved it. He's like, oh, it's nice to see a book that's actually being like read. So yeah, that was probably my big fangirl moment. And then also Stephanie McLeod. Gosh, when she said yes for the Blether, I was like, no, what, seriously? Like, because you can say no.
She was great. Oh, it was such a good guess.
It was.
We've got a picture up on our wall now as well.
Yeah, so I was doing a tasting for you in that room, and one of the guys asked, is that your portrait on the wall? I don't know if it was Steph or if it was a lady at the back to do with wine or something, maybe. There's like a wine lady. Yeah. And I was like, no, but there bloody should be a portrait of me in this room.
Brilliant.
Yes. Ingvar. It was Ingvar. Yes. That was really cool meeting him, actually, because I've only ever spoken to him online, and to meet him in real life was actually very, very cool. He's super tall. But do you know what? Everyone's super tall next to me.
Rachel Barry's not tall next to you.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, what about you? Have you got a starstruck? Is it going to be a footballer? Because I'm not going to know who you're talking about.
No, I mean, in terms of whiskey, I had the same with Dave Broom. We've covered this story a few times, and why I never wanted to ask it to be the Blether was because I had like a 10-year-old embarrassment. Meeting Charlie McLean in the port cabin at the Glenmurray distillery was quite cool. Didn't shake his hand, but we nodded at each other at the urinals.
Well, that's why you wouldn't have shaken hands. Ew, like
yeah. Oh yeah, that's 100% why we didn't shake hands.
Fair enough.
I remember when Rachel Barry, obviously she grew up in Inverurie. Her family's still here, and she comes into the shop. It took like 3 times of her visiting the shop for me to actually be there. But the first time I met her was online during the Blether. And then the second time was at the Worshipful Company of Distillers dinner a few years ago. And she was happy up the stairs near the end of the night. I remember seeing her from across the room and thinking, I need to speak to Rachel. I need to say hello. I got quite excited that she was there, but she was too far away to make it a comfortable introduction. I had to like climb over tables to get to her to say hello. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'll wait until it's kind of socially accepted. And I was halfway up the stairs, and she just looked down the stairs, and she was like, Mike! And then I'm like, whoa, that was cool. So she actually approached me. That was that was great fun. But out with whiskey, there's not really. Normally, who the people I meet are sports guys, and yes, sorry to say it is. It's footballers or dart players. I have a pub with a B&B, and we sponsored for a long time. We sponsored events, and that meant us getting guests in to stay. Phil Taylor slept in my bed, so that's a nice claim to fame. I wasn't in the bed at the time. Just to put that out there. The single beds in the B&B were too small for him, so he asked for a double bed. The only double bed was my one, so I was like, well, you can sleep in my bed and I'll sleep in. So yeah. Barney Raymond van Barneveld was nonplussed by it. He just climbed in, and he's like, he'll make Ingvar look short.
I mean, I'm just nodding along, and it all sounds really cool, but no,
You've heard of Phil Taylor. Surely you've heard of Phil Taylor.
Okay, let's say yes. And I don't know any dart players at all. I didn't even really know it was on TV, to be honest, until you guys, the work of you guys, realizing that it wasn't just people in pubs that played it. I didn't really know it was an actual thing. Yeah, no. No, I
haven't really met any movie stars. The King, I suppose. Met the King.
Yes, we both met the King on the same day.
He was I met him. First time I met him was for the opening of the local sports centre. He wasn't the King. He was Prince at the time, and that would have been, God, it would have been about 9 at the time, and I scored a hat-trick in front of him, and he shook my hand and said, "Very well done." That's the first time I think I'd ever scored a goal, let alone 3 goals in a match, because I was always a defender. So yeah, performed for the Prince at football.
The artist formerly known as Prince Charles. He was a prince when we met him both in 2021, wasn't he? I've met Florence from Florence and the Machine because she filmed a music video on the island that I lived on. I've met Ramsey Nesbitt because he was.
I was going to say, did you not go on a fishing boat with Gregor Fisher?
I did, yes. He used to come over to the island quite a bit because he was the Laird's son's godfather. So he'd come over quite a bit with a few other actors, Scottish actors. So yeah, kind of met a few of them. I've just suddenly remembered, because he was on the chat a minute ago, one of the most nervous Blethers I ever did was when David Stirk was on first time, because I'd stepped in because you were off, and it was me and Russell. Mm-hmm. And because I googled him, and all I knew was he was just this famous guy that'd written loads and loads of whiskey books. And Russell was like, "Do not fuck this up. This is a big deal." I was shitting myself.
Russell was so excited when David said yes. He was proper fanboying. It was, yeah.
And then I met him. I was like, "Oh, this guy's dead nice. Why was I so scared?" But if you watch it back, I am absolutely shit myself. I'm like, "Don't say anything stupid. Don't look like a twat."
And you've lived by that mantra every Blether since.
Oh, yeah, I know. I never say anything stupid now. I think it's just, I'm just leaning into it. If I can't fix it as well, just owning it. So just go with it.
When David came up to do a tasting for us, not long after the Blether, I think off the back of the Blether, we got in touch and we took in his book, and then we took in a few of his bottlings at the time. It wasn't a great attendance. I think we had about 8 or 10 in the room, and independent bottlers are a funny one with us. I think if we put on a Tomatin tasting or a Glendronach tasting, it's full. Independent bottlers, unless it's Little Brown Dog, who tend to sell out because they're the local guys. It's a bit more of it's a harder push. It's a harder sell. Maybe it's just who our clientele are. Anyway, David came up as a guest who we hadn't really had much exposure to the customers in the shop. So, and I was so keen to make it a good tasting, make it a good event. I invited a couple of friends along to kind of put bums on seats. And I was running late at the shop. And I remember legging it up because David was booking into the pub. We let a lot of the guests stay in the B&B. And I was legging it up to meet him. Tripped, arse over tit, like scraped both my hands down on the gravel. My knee was all grazed. It's one of those that adrenaline pumping is like you just get up and you continue running. It's like doesn't hurt, don't need it. And I remember halfway through the tasting just feeling this like absolutely agonizing pain in my knee. Went to the toilet, lifted it up, and there was just blood all down my shin. It was just like it's just that like before the past and that pain had come in. It was just like the next day, like my hands and elbows were in agony. But yeah, that's the unknown story of David Stirk's visit to Inverurie.
Oh well, we both got her fangirling moment. I'm getting a lot of hate for not knowing who Philip Taylor is, but I'll Google him.
Do you know who Luke Littler is?
Who?
Luke Littler.
Is he the really young lad that got famous for winning some sort of competition?
Like every competition.
Yeah. So I do. So I think maybe this is when I became aware that darts was on TV because like he was literally everywhere.
Yeah, he's made a massive impact on darts. So Phil Taylor was kind of the Luke Littler, maybe a little bit older, but winning everything and breaking records and setting the standard. If there was no Phil Taylor, there'd be no Luke Littler. It's his legacy, I would say.
I mean, I've Googled him and I don't recognize him, but cool. Good for him. Awesome job.
Anyway, so Rick hasn't replied about our Pip Hills. He replied he didn't remember what whiskies, but he didn't say how Pip told him to drink whiskey. I would be really. I sent Rick a link as well, and he hasn't looked at that. So
he's like legged it. He's like, nah, not doing it. You wanted reminded about another comment. Was it Black Friday or something? You said.
Yeah. Have you heard? You know, it hasn't come up yet about the pot still. It is moving or closing down, which is quite a shock. I don't know if anyone has heard this news. The pot still in Glasgow, you know, one of the iconic whiskey bars. Is I've heard rumours that it's moving location.
I think it's kind of moving.
Venue.
No, it's not pot still though. It's not
the Bonaccord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Bonacord's moving. Because I think the lease was up, wasn't it? But I think it's just moving further up the road. Like I think they are just moving the franchise into a venue. So yeah, I think it's been well known for a while, but I think it was just to do with the lease being up. But I'm sure we know where they're going. I'm sure Paul told me where they were going.
So they have that all sorted. It's just a
yeah. It is. It's moving across from the pot still. So yeah, it's just going up the road a little bit. So yeah,
it's less to walk.
It's all good. Oh, everyone's like, no, it's Bonaccord, it's Bonaccord. The whole chat's just filled.
I always ended up in the pot still more than the Bonaccord because it was easier to get to from the exhibition centre, and typically that's why I'd go down to Glasgow nowadays, is for if there's a gig or something on. And there's a great karaoke bar across from the pot still as well.
Do you do karaoke?
I don't, but it's great fun watching people. I did it once and they cut the song out halfway through. Yeah. That's probably why I don't do karaoke. They don't let me finish the song.
So bad that they actually cut you off. And that's the whole point of karaoke, that you're not meant to be good. But yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was, I was singing a Zach Brown song. Can't remember which one. It was Zach Brown I was singing.
Is that country?
They cut me off and nobody booed. I mean, it got the biggest cheer of the night, I think, to be fair.
What, when they cut you off?
They cut me off.
Yeah, I've never been to karaoke before. I don't know if it's my vibe, to be honest. But yeah, we've Bonacord's moving, so that's that. There's been a lot of gossip or events in the whiskey world, though, because there was a couple of big buyouts recently. Eden Mill got rescued, and Sterling Distillery got rescued. I think both of them were in the sort of threat of administration, and were bought out, pretty quickly afterwards, or rescued financially. But yeah, a couple of scares for what I maybe thought were quite well-established newer distilleries, but it just shows you just don't know, really. I've not been to either, actually. I was in Stirling not that long ago, but maybe the distillery wasn't open then, and I haven't been to Eden Mill. It's in Fife, isn't it, Eden Mill? Is it Fife?
Yeah. St Andrews.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, they were the first. Well, they were one of the guys who also did. Well, I think they did beer first, and then gin, and this was funding the distillery. But when the whiskey came out, I think it wasn't that well received. I think they maybe took it out too early and hurried it too much, and then they kind of withdrew back and kind of went back to the drawing board a wee bit and spent some more time on it because they had time. The gin was doing really well. A little bit like Harris was like, let's, everything's going well, let's not rush it. Harris did a good job of that. Whereas Eden Mill probably thought, no, we need to get the whiskey out. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was shareholders or investors or something were wanting it out, or maybe just the wrong choice at the wrong time. But last year I was down and I went past the shop in St Andrews and tasted a couple of stuff, and I was suitably impressed. It's quite nice. I don't think they do the beer anymore, but the gin's still on the go.
Yeah, well, luckily, the investment was made and they were able to keep going, and nobody lost their job, or maybe, people were able to keep their jobs. Maybe they'd lose some jobs, but yeah. Yeah,
tricky times. Whether it doesn't matter what in part of the industry you're in. If you're an indie bottler, sales are hard because people are cutting back. If you're a retailer, people are cutting back. Sales are hard. We tend to this time of year focus more on distillery bottlings because it's an easier sell. People are more confident buying it because they know what they're getting. I guess this time of year, I don't know how you guys have felt it in terms of tourism. Are people still kind of visiting and things are still quite buoyant on that side of things, or?
So this week's quieted off. The weekend was really busy, but I think it was the first kind of weekend where people were really thinking, gosh, that's the start of December. I need to do Christmas shopping. So it was pretty hectic. But in terms of visitors, tours, it's quietened off this week. It will pick up again because we start to pick up kind of local people who've got family staying and looking for something to do. And people want to buy local gifts. A lot of email inquiries about, whiskey prices, things like that. So people just wanting to shop local, send things abroad from, the local distilleries and whatever. So it's kind of following a similar pattern. It's just been an unusual year. Like we've had it's been a busy year. It feels like it's been a really busy year. It's been a big year for us, like in terms of things we've done, but not a predictable year either. It's, there's been a lot of bus parties, but smaller groups, the spend in stores, different. So it's just one of those years that hasn't followed a set path. You could be quiet on a Saturday and then flat out on a Wednesday for no particular reason. So just been a weird year.
One of the reasons that we kind of really looked at moving or looked at a different venue was that people were going more experiential. They're looking for something more than just a bottle off the shelf. They want to try a few drams. They want to have an experience, a tasting, a tour, or something. So that's why we're here now. It's a bigger space. We're allowed to offer more of that. I think it's just the way people are looking at it. A bottle's great, but what would I rather have? For 30 quid a off-the-shelf bottle of whiskey, or maybe the chance to try 5-6 drams, learn something, meet people. It's a bit more of a talking point.
It's a lot of requests in for what's more, like what's different. I've been to distillery, what else can you offer? And I've spoken to other distilleries experience, and they're getting. It's because people got, they want their money to stretch a bit further this year because everything's expensive. So they're shopping around in terms of purchases, in terms of experiences. They really want to shop around. So, we're a consumer-driven industry, so it's up to us to adapt to what the consumer wants. So that's what we're doing. So book onto the shed.
So which room in the warehouse have you converted into your sex dungeon for the sherry tasting?
You have to sign on to a private members list to find out that information. So I can't tell you, unfortunately. No, the new sherry experience is up in the Bothy. Nothing to do with sex dungeons.
Okay, we'll let you know. Rick was saying as a buyer of whiskey, it's a great time. It is. We've never had access to more whiskies, I guess. And if you're buying on the secondary market, it's a great time as well because there's some bargains out there. You're looking at Springbank kind of core range on or below RRP, along with a host of other things. As a seller of whiskey, it's not that great. And that, that impacts, that does, having a great secondary market for the buyer impacts retailers because people are always in the hunt for a bargain. And if they see something on our shelf, think, I'll wait until this auction's finished and then I'll see what price it is. So, yeah, it's not great for us, but guys, if you get your hands in a bargain, I am not going to grudge it at all. I do the same in a personal level. So,
yeah. And this is it. Like, we're nearly the end of 2025. We've made it this far. Yeah.
Made it to 10 years.
Exactly. Next year's another
Yeah.
year.
Ed is asking, what's the DT octave behind you? This is the Milton Duff 2009. That is 9 months in the octave. I'm guessing that's the one you're looking at. The other one we have is a Bunnahabhain in Highland Park, which is over there. So, yeah, Milton Duff 2009.
That's it. That's well spotted, Ed. Oh, I could just see the roof now. Nice roof.
Yeah. I just wanted to show you all how high the shelves are.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like when Harry Potter goes into Ollivander's to choose his wand. So, like, if I come into the whiskey shop, will the whiskey just choose me? Like, will a box of Glengarry just fly at me? Or maybe it wouldn't be Glengarry. Maybe I'd be sorted into a different whiskey house.
You've been living a lie your whole life.
I know.
I have another bottle of whiskey here, and I can't see. Oh, my foot's on it.
Honestly, every time you move, the camera moves, and it's on. It's giving me like road sickness.
It's one of these fancy ones. It's meant to track. It's for presentations and stuff. It tracks you, but it's when you start using your hands. Your hands do different signals, and it starts following that.
Well, because this is how the infamous Kenny MacDonald falling over live Blether happened. Still one of my favorite moments ever.
So do you remember a few weeks back, probably a few months back now, we had Keith Cruikshank on as a guest.
Yep. You joined though. You were doing something else. It was just me and him for a while.
Was it?
Yeah. You were doing a tasting or something.
So Keith, when we asked Keith, he was the head guru at Ben Romish, and then by the time we got him on, he'd moved on to Coburn.
Yes.
So my next dram is from Coburn of sorts. So they have released a new range of whiskies called Local Heroes.
Oh wow!
So the two founders of D&M, who are the founding company or the company who bought Coburn Distillery, were heavily involved in the production of Local Hero movie. I know you're probably too young to remember it, but it celebrated, I think it was its 40th anniversary or 30th anniversary last year.
Yeah, I remember that because Andrew did a gin for it and everyone was coming to the shop to buy it because not long after I started, I think maybe, and there was all this Local Hero gin on the go.
Yeah. So they have released an independently bottled blended malt range. There's 3 of them. If you spin you around, you can see that blue, orange, and red range there. So they have a sherry bomb, a sweet peat, and a big smoke. I think it's called big smoke. So these just arrived today. So I'm going to crack this one open. This is the sweet peat expression. Don't know what is in it. Keith was heavily involved in the blending of it. So Speyside, peat, sweet peat, and Speyside. So I would really be interested to know if you managed to get some Ben Romick, if they allowed him to take some casks with him. So we'll have to get him back on and his guys. But we're going to do some of this, some stuff with this in the bar. So if you're passing, let's hear from you, and we can do a wee trio. 46%, non-chill filter, natural colour, all that. It reminds me a little bit. I don't know if you're a gin drinker of Sipsmith gin.
Yeah,
got that kind of feel.
That's one of mine. Or one of ours.
Copper coral. I haven't tried them yet, so I'm going to try it for the first time. A second debut.
Nice. I mean, you are in the perfect location for that.
Trying new whiskies.
Yeah, just pick them all.
The next stock shake, Janice is going to rage at me because there's heaps of missing bottles.
Talking of, you just said Sipsmith, it just reminded me of something else that I was going to talk about is Vicky and her new Seekers enterprise. So you guys have maybe seen it. I forwarded you on her press release for it as well. So if you follow the whiskey news, you'll have seen it was launched yesterday. So Vicky Miller is a friend of ours, and she was head of sales, Far East sales for Money McDavid. Before that, her father was one of the founders of Eden Mill, and I don't think the family are involved with it anymore. So she used to be in sales for Eden Mill. Very, very clever girl, super clever. We were going to have her on the Blether a couple months ago, but it was just as she was transitioning from Money McDavid into her new business enterprise. So yeah, it's fairly kicked off. So it kind of makes booking distilleries easier. So it's kind of like an app, our website, that kind of has all the sort of distillery kind of and breweries. So breweries, whiskey and gin distilleries, it has kind of all their booking information in one location. So it just makes it really user friendly if you are visiting the country. So I think it's like a Tinder for distilleries. So like where you are geographically. This is my only reference point. It shows my history up to recent
distillery and your characteristics, and they have to swipe left or right whether they think, yeah, I like that, no, I don't want that. And it puts together this perfect image. No.
It's more of the geographical locationing, not the swiping, more the geographical locationing. So I think it can hone in on where you are and sort of help you formulate visits in the vicinity. Because and it happens all the time. Like people will email you or phone you and say, oh, I'm pretty close by. Can we come for the 2:00 tour? And you're like, yeah, where are you? And they're like, oh, Balmoral. I'm like, well, no, because that's not really close by at all. So yeah, it's a fantastic idea. I think she's definitely touched on the right thing at the right time in the market. So yeah, we wish her all the success. Keep a lookout for it. Give it a follow. And we're going to try and get her on the Blether next year when things have calmed down for her a little bit. So I think it's all just full pelt just now, but excited to see what it does for her and which distilleries join on. I think she's got over 50 distilleries just now and breweries. So Yeah, she's
50
done really well.
distillers in brewery. That's
And breweries. Distilleries and breweries. I've just got a really strong accent.
50 distilleries in brewery.
I think when I get sleepy, I get uber Scottish. Distilleries and breweries.
Ed Friday, that is coming. Oh, Rona. Hi, Rona. She's watching. So it was Rona who came and passed it to me about these local heroes. She's involved in the sales and market team. So not a planned plug, honestly. It's just what I fancy trying tonight. Ed has got the winter Christmas Marach More from Lady of the Glen. They popped in a wee Ardmore miniature, which is going into his hotel holiday stash, which will probably be consumed later that month. Lady of the Glen, not heard much about them. Who are they? They new?
So they do seem to get a mention every single week now. Lady of the Glen bingo. If you haven't made the connection yet, guys, then I'll just leave you to figure that out yourself. But I don't work for them, so I'll let you join the dots.
And look who's right next to me here.
Oh, look at that. Perfect little plug. I mean, have they released a Glengarry yet? No. However,
yes, they have.
Okay, one recently.
Not recently.
Ages ago they did one, but
it was really nice.
Yeah,
it was a good. Good evening, Gilbert. Gilbert Anescu is in. We had Gilbert in the shop. Not in the shop, in the bar. About 2 weeks ago, he came in past to see us. So yes, still at work. This is me working hard, grafting away, sweat and blood and tears for your entertainment. But yeah, we're now in the shop, Gilbert. We've opened up. Can't wait to get some Arbiki on the shelf. I do need to follow up on that, actually. But I will.
Yeah, nice. I think last time I saw Gilbert was at the Arbiki Festival. And I arrived late because we got stuck in the most horrific traffic jam ever. And I was so late and so stressed. And we got there just as the festival was starting. And Gilbert was there at the door, like unloading the van for me and literally handing me a cup of tea and a bacon sandwich. And it was just like God was there welcoming me in with like a beam of light. It was lovely. Awesome festival. And honestly, the distillery team were amazing looking after everyone. If you haven't been to the Dram Good Whisky Festival, I don't know if you guys are doing it at the distillery again next year, if you're back in Edinburgh, if that's not decided, but yeah, it was awesome. Really, really good festival. Such a beautiful distillery. Such an awesome venue. If you haven't been over, then you should. Definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, need to get down. January, I'm going to do January and February is my time for going out and visiting. Yeah. All these places I say I will do every year. We'll try and take some time out. They setting things up for June. Dram Good is happening again.
Fantastic.
So good to hear. Dave Stack has commented. He's saying he's feeling the love from you both. I can't say he's ever been whiskey starstruck, but he does remember nearly choking from taking a swig of whiskey in an interview and it going down the wrong tube.
Oh, yeah, that's not good when the interviewer's got to pat you on the back.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact that is not the most embarrassing story Dave Stark has when it comes to whiskey. Hashtag little brown dog. That's all I'll say.
Oh, gimp suit. And also,
it was a morph suit. It wasn't a gimp suit. It was a morph.
Always wanted to know, was that bought in or did you bring your one from home? But yeah, more information needed. That was quite funny, actually. You featured in, well, not you, but Folkhouse featured in their recent video.
The latest one, yes.
Yeah.
They made sure I wasn't there before doing it.
It was that was good, actually, really good. They always just do really funny little videos.
They have for gin fans at home watching. They're got a Benahee edition of the Aberdeenshire Forest gin. We must have sold about, I don't know, 20 cases of the stuff. It's so popular. It does so well.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, I've had people tell me that they collect everything Little Brown Dog release, even though they don't drink whiskey. But it's just because these guys are local, and people are just really proud of a local business, I suppose, which is so lovely to see.
And a little bit mad.
It helps that they are like a little bit quirky, I suppose, isn't it? Not your kind of stuffy, humdrum, run-of-the-mill kind of, I don't know, big corporate machines, I guess. And the fact that it's genuinely hand-foraged botanicals from Benahee for their gin is pretty cool. And everybody knew Andrew as the vet anyway. So, like, you know, one minute he's putting your dog down, and the next minute he's making gin. It's like...
He's one of the cleverest guys I know, I think. He retains information and uses it and talks about it in such a way that like Dave Broom in his books, you can read about whiskey in a way that you understand. I remember I got asked to do a science. I think we've talked about this before, but asked to do a whiskey and science evening at the local science centre in Aberdeen. And I was like, well, I would love to do it. It'd be great, get the whiskey along. I was like, but I could do it, but I know somebody who could talk the science side so much better than me. And I would take like 3 months of intense study to get something together, and I would have to do slideshows and have notes and all that kind of thing. So I asked Andrew about 2 weeks before. I says, would you kind of help out with this and just talk about the science side? Because I know you're quite geeky on that. It's a Thursday night, and it's in Aberdeen. He's like talking science to what? Yeah, man. He's like, if it was just a tasting, then I probably wouldn't bother. But because I get to talk science, then yeah. And he just comes out with it. It's just like insane. It is he's coming out with words I never heard of before, and he's talking about them. He's self-taught to PhD level in distilling and stuff. And it's like when we were talking about Paul McLaughlin earlier on, and he's another one who can kind of retain this information. And this is not information that you use every day. It's not like we talk maturation or age or ABV or whatever. When we're doing a tasting, you talk about the glass, and information you use every day is there at your fingertips. But this is stupidly in-depth science stuff that you probably talk about once a year. And he's just bringing it out like this. And not only that, he's having a fucking laugh with it as well. He's making jokes about it. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, and I'm laughing at your joke about it. It's like, but yeah, I'm not going to blow any more smoke up his arse, but really, really clever guy, really funny. And you can see why people warm to the brand.
Yeah. And then, but Chris is so lovely as well. Like, he comes across really quiet. He's got the most awesome, dry sense of humor. Between them, they're a really cool pair of guys, to be honest. But they put out really good whiskey. They obviously know what they're doing as well. It's not all gimmicky.
It's 100%, yeah. Yeah, as much as we love the marketing and all that, if they're producing crap, then nobody would care.
Yeah, exactly. Novelty would have worn off.
They might have a giggle at it, but they wouldn't continue to get. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rick saying we should do a great blether would be Dave Sturck's most embarrassing whiskey moments. He thinks we need 2 episodes.
Do you know what?
I'm up for that.
I'm game. Definitely.
Let's get it in the diary.
Yeah,
it'll be all right on the night version of whiskey featuring Dave Sturck.
Yeah, we should. I'm trying to think if I've got any really embarrassing whiskey moments.
Would the
Probably
Chris
none that.
Coates be classed as embarrassing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose so. I mean, it was funny. I think it's more embarrassing that it went so viral. I just became known as the girl that Christopher Coates covered in whiskey, but I didn't find it embarrassing. It's kind of good fun, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know I don't know if I've got any. Like, if I did, it's probably just like drunken nights out, and it probably had nothing to do with whiskey. Can't think of any. Maybe I've not lived enough. Yeah, I don't know.
David's suggesting a round robin of anonymous embarrassing moments from folk in the industry. That would be fun. We just get them to send us their moments, and we read them out, and people have to guess.
Who
we won't tell them. Obviously, it'd be completely anonymous.
Yeah, no, that would be good. There are so many good stories in the whiskey world that will probably never see the light of day because, it involves a big brand or, somebody that wants to keep their job.
We're in danger of losing that because of social media. People are a bit more cautious of what's going to be seen or what's going to be said.
I would say so. But you could say that about anything in life.
Yeah. I noticed a big difference the last tasting we had. We did do a virtual entry on it. It was quite a last minute kind of put together. And the host was so much more talkative than recent hosts had been because we'd had virtual and it was recorded for the guys at home. So I wonder if they are aware of that and think, well, I can't say what I really think because if that gets back.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I get it as well. You've got a brand image that you have to protect because what translates well in one small backroom pub in a village is not going to translate well, maybe on a larger global scale. So I do totally get it. And that's it. Once it's on the internet, there is no shutting that box. Like, it is
not coming off
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think social media is definitely a blessing and a curse because it's opening brands up to a much bigger audience. But at the same time, you just have to be careful with it, I guess, don't you? But like I say, it's the same with everything, isn't it? Like, you apply for a job and like employers can go on your LinkedIn, they can go on your backtrack in your Facebook and see, what you're up to 20 years ago, which is probably not relevant at all to the person you are nowadays, but it's still there. Like, you doing like Jaeger bombs and whatever else, and I can't think of that. Shows how wild I am as a teenager. Like, I can't even think of something outrageous between Jaeger bombs.
Yeah. To be fair, you spent your youth herding sheep on just about every island on the East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Too busy moving and farming.
Moving house, breeding, and chasing sheep is pretty much how I spent my early adult years.
Not to be mixed up.
No, definitely not.
Bleeding children chasing sheep. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, make up for it now. 40th year and all that. Running out of time. Got to make use of it. I've been celebrating being 40 for the whole of this year, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to go out with a bang.
Just start celebrating being 41.
It's true. That is true. Celebrate all my 40s.
I'm really enjoying this one.
No, you're on the blend now.
Yeah, it's a little bit Ardmoreish.
Nice.
It's got that sweet subtle peat, creamy, viscousy. It's got a nice mouthfeel. 46%, so it's got body but not punchy.
It sounds a little bit like Ardrey. Ardrey's got that nice kind of mouthfeel, kind of a little bit peat smoke, kind of cereal notes and stuff.
Terrible sales pitch. I have no idea what price point is coming in at.
Well, I was just going to ask you, so what's that retailing at? Because it sounds really good.
You think somebody would have, no. It only came in today in my defense. So this is a pre-pitch. Sweet pea is coming in about £52.
That's pretty good. Every time you say sweet pea, I think you're saying sweet pea, and that would be the cutest name for a whiskey ever.
Yeah.
I might have a whiskey brand and name it after flowers. That would be cute.
It might be confusing because people would think that it's going to smell like rhododendron. Is that a flower?
Rhododendron is a flower.
If you call the whiskey rose, they might think it's going to smell like rose.
Yeah, that's true. That is a very valid point, actually. I bet that is quite difficult if you are coming up with a brand to make sure you're not using words that could denote any sort of pre-bias of, like, you know, association with other things. That's interesting.
We've got BX Roadhouse. Yeah, Rona's jumped in again. She is saying £50 to £52 for the range here. I think we're pretty spot on for 50 for the sherry, up to 52 for the sweet pea. BX Roadhouse, sorry, for geeky embarrassment, ask distillery tour guides, what is your energy consumption per kilowatt hour versus litre of alcohol? Do you know the answer to that?
I am not even going to voice my opinion about that question because it sums up a type of person that joins distillery tours that I am not going to voice an opinion about. So we're just going to move on from that. My answer is, why do you want to know that? Is it because you're genuinely interested, or is it because you want to see the bemused look on the faces of the tour guides who could probably do that tour in 3 different languages and know more about distillation than the operations guys who sit for 12 hours on a shift, occasionally pressing a button? But like I say, I'm not going to voice an opinion on that question.
Right, guys, here's a challenge for you at home. Send us your most geeky questions for a tour guide. And we will put them all together and we'll all go on a bus trip up to Glengarry. We will get Kat to answer them all.
I guarantee you that I could probably answer quite a lot of them. And I can also guarantee you that you could ask every member of the operations team that same question and still not have an answer. So, yeah.
I think you hit it in the head. Why do you want to know? You always have that person asking about things that, you know, do they want to know it, or have they heard it somewhere, or have the bottom line you're asking for is what impact does that have on the whiskey flavor? And would you notice it if it wasn't there, or if it was a different answer? Yeah. If you gave an answer to that particular question, I have no idea where it would lie. But do they have a little notebook that compares all the other distilleries, and can they find a final bit that says, you know, wow, if they came out with a spider graph and said, well, these are my findings, you know, that would be great. You're like, well, you're that interested and you're actually making research into it, then yes, I will go and find out, and I will come back with an answer.
Yes, if it's helpful towards a more sustainable goal, and this is your field of expertise, then excellent. And if you find a distillery that's got the best use of energy, then definitely buy from them if that's what you need to do in life. But yeah.
Very, very well politically put. I can see where your degree's coming through now, Kat.
I also did an intense course in media training. And I really did. It was a really intense course. Oh my gosh, it was one of those things that is one of the best and worst things you've ever done, because it's excruciating. But also you can really feel the benefit of it too. It was really good actually. But yeah, you get asked all sorts of questions as a guide. And sometimes genuine interest, and that's fantastic. And sometimes it's more something that the person asking needs to fill something about them, as opposed to genuine interest. You can really pick them out. And the sign of a good guide is how they deal with that. So yeah. But I'm always learning. People ask me stuff that I don't know the answer to, and I'll go and find out. Which I love about my job, because how many of us get to go in to work and keep learning new things and finding every day different. So yeah. Always ask questions. Never be scared to ask questions. No question stupid. Well, I say that.
How come maybe that one?
But yeah, that's how we find things out, is we ask questions. But I do wonder about some questions. Sometimes it's maybe just people have misunderstood what you've said, and they just ask a really random question off the back of it, and you're like, wait, what? But yeah, it's all good. It is all good. I think sometimes people feel the need, and sometimes it's American audiences, and this is not meant with anything other than love, is the fact that I think they feel like it's a way of showing that they're enjoying themselves. Like, they want to ask questions to show that I'm really interested and I really appreciate you giving me your time. So I'll ask you lots of questions, and it's often American people that will do it, which I love. It's just it just keeps interaction going, because sometimes a group can be really quiet the whole way around, which is fine.
I was going to say, you'd rather have a few questions than everyone just being quiet the whole way around, like,
Yeah.
And then, but then you'll probably find you'll have a tour like that, and you like sit, go back at the end, and you'll be like, my God, that was a fucking hard work. But then at the end, it's all like, that was amazing, well done, thank you very much, thank you, and buy heaps of shit. And you're like, where did that come from? Where was that enthusiasm for the last hour and a half? 100%.
We were speaking about this the other day, actually, of like, you're giving them your best patter, and you've seen my best patter, like, it's pretty top notch. And but it's because you've seen it so much. You could probably do my tour for me. But like, it's just these deadpan faces. You're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if they're enjoying it. And then you get back to visitor center, and they're like, this is the best tour ever. Like, we've had a great time. Like, you're like, oh my God, tell your faces. But I think again, it's that respectful of like, I'm listening to you. I'm not going to interrupt. Yeah. Like, it's very British of like, I'm going to be quiet and give you my time. And so yeah. And then again, another sign of a good tour guide: adapting for your audience. So we're very versatile. It's you get all sorts. It's members of the public. You don't know what you're going to get until they turn up.
Every day is different, isn't it? Love it. We've got some comments. Tim Powell says it's like a comedian dealing with a heckler. Ed is asking, what was the nitrogen levels in the field when the barley was harvested? And what was the rainfall that month?
Well, do you know what? I could probably find that out, because I know the guy that owns the grain, Aberdeen Grain, so I could just maybe ping my message and ask him that for you, because it hasn't been a good year this year. But yeah, again, it's what do you do with that answer, because really it's what we would do with the barley afterwards that's more important than the rainfall and nitrogen content and everything else. But yeah,
I'm not sure if Sugar Kit is serious to this question, but this would be worth investigating, and I'm sure somebody has. He said, "Is you could terraform on Mars, would it be rye, barley, or wheat? And what kind of whiskey would you make?" I don't know why, but that actually interests me. I was like, "Ooh, that would be cool to find out."
That's an amazing question. Like, has that just come into your head, or is this something you've been thinking about for a while? Because both of those are interesting. Either answer you give me would be interesting. Isn't Mars the really hot one?
Yeah, I would say fair middling, but yeah.
Fair.
Mars is the next one along from us. It's slightly further away from the sun.
Oh, the hot one's Venus. Okay. Rye, barley, or wheat, and what kind of whiskey would you make? I'm giving this genuine thought, to be honest. So I kind of think Earth is doing great with barley. So Mars could just be where like rye really kind of comes into its own. And so we just make a sort of rye.
You would need something that needs less water to grow.
I don't think I know enough. Oh, so barley needs a lot of water. So
Yeah.
And I'd imagine wheat would, because it's a very similar looking plant to barley. So I'm thinking rye maybe could live with, unless you went for like a bare barley, like a sort of really hardy old school. I'm actually giving this too much thought. Okay, I'm planting bare barley and I'm doing old school type whiskey on Mars. What would you put in Uranus? Somebody had to, right? Mars has water trapped frozen in the polar ice caps. I did not know all of this about Mars. It's because space, I find space really boring. But Mars is water. So if it's got frozen polar ice caps, it has to be something like bare barley, like a vintage heritage malt grain. So yeah, that's just answered that question. It's going to be bare barley. And we're going to.
You'd have to farm the water, though, wouldn't you? You couldn't just get it. It would have to be irrigated to your field. I don't know what the soil's like. It's very red and hardy clay style soil, I think. So,
I mean, we're assuming they're going to grow food there first. So, like, we'll just kind of tap into the existing.
Straight into the whiskey. Fuck the food. We've landed on Mars. Get the whiskey going. Come on. Been a long trip. Need a dram.
Let's start making my some moonshine. Dave's away again. It's probably for the best, Dave, because it has just descended into absolute chaos. I mean, we are still on topic with whiskey, but we're now whiskey on Mars.
Whiskey on Mars. Who's the guy who wrote the Martian book? We could ask him. He might have an idea.
The Martian book.
Yeah, I think you read it as part of your book club, didn't you? It was a film with Matt Damon, and there was a book called The Martian.
So I probably would have point blank refused to read it if it was about aliens. But I don't. Maybe this was before I joined the book club.
It's not about aliens. It's about a guy gets stuck on Mars and he survives by planting tatties in his poop.
Tatties in his poop, did you say?
Yeah. I mean, that's a very broad summary of the film or the book, but that's essentially what he does.
You should do all synopsises for everything. No, I didn't read this one as part of book club. I would have remembered that. So kind of like Castaway, but with potatoes and poop in space.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. No
Excellent.
volleyball.
I'll look out for that. No, I haven't read that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of space. Like, I like looking up at the moon, but I'm not that fussed about space. It's just, I mean, the clue's name, space. It's just empty. It's just like with rocks. Like, it's not for me. Let's just say darts and space are not for me.
Oh dear. Right. Now that we've ticked off that particular subject, it's been on my to-do list for so long to tick off. But I am actually going to begrudgingly look a little bit deeper into that and see if it would be possible. Where would be the most like Mars place on Earth, and do they grow whiskey? Grow whiskey? Do they grow barley for whiskey?
I was thinking maybe like the Arctic Circle would be like it, and then because you've got Aurora. So if we're saying like it's quite barren and cold with polar ice caps, Why is it red if it's so cold? I just thought it was like hot because it was red. I mean, that's my synesthesia in the weekend.
Dry. So I'm thinking more like your chalky clay, like almost grapevine kind of growing. Alberitza kind of soil where you get the really chalky grey, earthy soil, dusty soil for dry grapes. I was thinking.
So Sugar Kitty says Arizona is probably the most likely place, similar to Ed Friday says, I mean, this is obviously ad lib, like, this sort of genius writes itself. I mean, yeah. We do go off piece.
The fact that you had to ask that question, Ed, makes me wonder where you've been for the last years.
It does make me think that we've maybe come to a natural conclusion for the Blether that we have literally just started pondering about whiskey
on Mars. If you made whiskey on Mars, so if men are from Mars and whiskey and women are from Venus. If we made whiskey on Mars, what would we make on Venus?
Better whiskey.
Well, as soon as I said it, I knew that I was setting myself up for something like that. That's good. I like it. I will raise this glass to that answer.
Don't even come at me, Venus equals gin. I've already had one comment about tour guides. Now, women being gin drinkers, I can't deal with that. I've spent a whole week of doing self-assessments. Like, I'm ready to pop. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
On that note.
Okay. Yes. Hopefully next week's guest.
So we haven't heard back because he's on holiday just now. I checked the emails before we came on when I realised I was flying solo. So unless my email inbox hasn't updated, he hasn't confirmed.
Is this our Secret Santa?
Yes, so it is still unconfirmed. So potentially we have a guest next week, but he is away just now. So just waiting for a reply. And either way, next week will be, I know. I do hope it happens, but yeah, we will see because he's a very, very busy man. It's Santa.
It's Santa. He's starting his rounds.
It is. And either way, next week will be our last week before Christmas. So I think people need to think about dram of the year, moment of the year, best Blether moment of the year. I'd love to hear those, like iconic moments like Kenny McDonald falling over, for example.
Hands down.
Like back-to-back master blenders. That was 2 epic weeks. I would love to say that was planned, but most ridiculous things Mike or Kat has
said. I don't think I've said anything ridiculous. If I have, it's paled in comparison to my co-host.
Yeah, I'll try and get some stuff up on the socials. I've fallen behind my socials this year. I'm going to try and catch up with our socials and the Christmas break because I've got some holidays at Christmas. And I'll maybe try and get something up on the socials, like little wee comment boxes that you guys can maybe tell us your favourite ridiculous things I've said. Because we haven't got Callum Renton on, who is fantastic at finding these little moments of ridiculous thing I've said and putting them on t-shirts and mugs and all sorts of things. So yeah, come prepared. It's homework for next week, guys. We want just a summary of the Blether for the year. Best bits, best quotes, best guests. Also, have a think, please, about who you'd like me to track down for next year, other than Beyonce and Sam Heughan. So homework for next week. Come prepared, please, everyone. And we may have a guest, maybe Santa, maybe Satan, as Ed said. Definitely Spoon if we get him on. But yeah, watch the space. He's a very busy man, so we'll see what we can do.
Look forward to it. Guys,
yeah.
if we don't see you next week, I hope we do. Have a great Christmas. Can't believe we're saying that. Yeah, spend well, drink well, sensibly, and we'll say good night. Slán Javá.
Slánge. I think I have to end the stream tonight because I started it. So give me a second, everyone. Night.
Night.